They've given us a special waiver to perform today's supersonic testing. This will be the first time any civil aircraft has ever gone supersonic over the continental United States.
All right, throttles are coming up.
And as they taxi into position, Nick, we can see the two chase aircraft accompanying XB-1. What's the role of the two chase aircraft specifically?
Stable. Idle.
So what we're seeing here right now, Geppetto's actually just doing some engine checks, final verification that everything is within band, within parameters, limits for all the three engines. The two chase aircraft today, they're really just airborne support for Geppetto, helping offload any tasks that are required, keeping eyeballs on the outside of the airplane. If we have something like an oil leak or something, Chase can see it immediately. So the value of having Chase airborne on any test aircraft is pretty well documented, well understood.
So I'm going to take a moment here to talk about what you're seeing kind of at the bottom of the screen there. We're providing you with a bit of the telemetry, honestly a small fraction of what's coming off the airplane.
Throttle's coming up for fuel burn.
But what you see there is we have the altitude on the, there's a mission time. We'll just run a clock when the airplane takes off, but then we have the altitude. What you're seeing there at 2,700 feet, that is the elevation, above mean sea level that the airfield is at. So XB-1 is starting from an altitude today of 2,700 feet. The Mach 0.1 and then the airspeed that you see there in knots, that it's reading right now as having speed because the instrument actually has a minimum amount of, basically pressure that it can detect. So it always holds just a residual value of approximately 65 knots or Mach 0.1. As the aircraft accelerates, you'll start to see those numbers tick up. In Mach, again, is you're seeing that in right now. It's Mach 1 is the speed of sound. So every 10th of a Mach is 10% of the speed of sound. Airspeed is in true airspeed, so that is going to be the aircraft speed.
Test control. I show you in band for fuel.
Okay,
we're go brake release.
We're good for fuel.
Copy, go brake release.
And that's the indication that XB-1 is clear to take off.
1 and 2, you guys set?
Chase 1, 2 ready, you're clear to take off.
Chase 1 set, see ya.
So let's take advantage of this and just watch XB-1 on her takeoff roll as she leaps into the air for the first ever supersonic flight of an independently developed civilian supersonic aircraft. And she's airborne. Wow, that was fantastic. Doesn't she look gorgeous? Especially when the gear's up, she looks an absolutely beautiful airplane. And in the pilot's world, we say that if an aircraft looks right, she'll fly right, and XB-1 certainly looks right. The psychiatrists, in fact, tell us that an aircraft like XB-1 looks great, and we like it because it appeals to both sides of the brain, the left side for its technology and the right side for its stunning good looks. And she's climbing pretty steeply now, Greg. Why is she climbing so steeply as that?
Mike, I mean, I've never had the opportunity to be outside and watch it fly. I've always been in the control room, and it is remarkable how quickly it does indeed climb. XB-1 is designed to be able to climb effectively with a single engine failed or single engine inoperative and the gear down. The gear provide a substantial amount of drag. That's why we pull them up early, getting off the deck, and we have all three engines operating. So we have essentially a tremendous amount of excess power. That clean and dry check that you heard right there, that's the chase plane will do an external inspection of the aircraft. And so they're looking at panels and making sure there's no movement, excess movement or flutter on any panels, no leaks or anything like that. So just an external, again, the benefit of having another individual right there next to the airplane able to inspect it from the outside.
So with XB-1 in the air, Greg, what can we expect from this initial phase of the mission before we get to the point where we'll go supersonic?
The initial phase of the mission here, you know, the first card in our test cards here is takeoff and climb out. The whole function of this is to get into the correct airspace at the right speed and the right altitude to really set us up for entry into the supersonic corridor. So the pilot, Geppetto, and the aircraft, they have experience, in the control room as well, all have experience with the aircraft during all altitudes up to 32,000 feet and the speeds that we're going to be experiencing at this point. So primarily, they're just evaluating, is the airplane behaving like we expect it to behave, as we've seen it behave in previous missions, and making sure that everything is aligned with expectations. So, you know, Geppetto